A Christian told me once that he thinks that everyone believes in God, but some people are just angry at him. I told him that I kind of believe that everyone knows there's no God, but they just pretend to believe for comfort. What do you guys think?
Good question. As much as it might irritate our atheist friends to hear it, there are some studies which indicate that atheists do, in fact, deep down know that God exists. For instance, this study asked religious and non-religious participants to dare God to hurt them or their family. And despite atheists rating these statements as less unpleasant than religious individuals, when they were asked to actually say these statements, the atheists showed an emotional arousal that was comparable to the religious individuals. The study also had the participants say the same statements about God, but instead of having them dare God to do something, they just said they wished it to happen. Both atheist and religious participants felt more emotional distress when daring God to do something than when merely saying they wished it would happen. Atheists also refused to say aloud the God statements, and they felt the need to undo the statements equally often as religious individuals did. There was also this study which showed that when given pictures of nature and asked if it was made by a being, atheists, even those involved in atheist organizations, were more likely to respond that the nature was made by a being when they were not given time to censor their thoughts. This seems to indicate that even atheists reflectively and intuitively recognize teleology in nature, even though they are going to fill my comment section saying they don't. There are a lot of studies similar to these that show similar results. In fact, some researchers in this field have gone so far as to suggest that atheism is only skin deep. In this paper, the researcher describes a study in which he observed atheists regularly attributing a teleology to their lives despite their supposed non-beliefs. And he says, I think quite rightly, that, quote, this pattern of thinking strongly implies that atheism is more a verbal muzzling of God, a conscious, executively made decision to reject one's own intuitions about a faceless ubermind involved in our personal affairs than it is a true cognitive exorcism, end quote.